Hey Marie Claire, it's Gigi Gorgeous. Welcome to my office. I am standing by my library wall. I'm gonna be giving you guys a tour of some of my favorite books right now. I love storytelling and I am so inspired by some of the people that I'm gonna be showcasing today, along with so many others, but we only have time for one YouTube video. Okay. That brings us to our first book. Let's get into it. Oh, don't fall. The first book I want to talk about is from Shetty. It's called The 8 Rules of Love. Shetty is actually one of the people that really instilled in me that mind comes over matter. You can achieve anything that you want if your mind is in the right place. He really taught me that it's all about perspective. And after reading this book, I really felt empowered. I feel like whenever you watch like one of his videos or read a book of his, you feel like you can take on life. And I think that that is something that is so special about him. Shout out Shetty. 8 Rules of Love. Obsessed. Back on the shelf. Next up, a little fun one. This is The Blondes, and if you guys are not aware, they're a couple and they're designers, and they are based out of New York City. And I've had the pleasure of walking in a few of their shows. And at the last one, they were like, oh my God, we're coming out with a coffee table book. And I was like, I love a coffee table book. I'm obsessed. And they were like, you're in it. And when they showed me my photo, I almost died. I was like, I couldn't believe it. So literally smack dab right in the center, there's a full-on centerfold photo of me from their Moulin Rouge show at the Moulin Rouge Theater in New York City. So major, a moment I will never, ever, ever forget. Like, what's another good one? Like this, are you kidding? This is Philippe. Like, that is giving poster on my wall when I was like 12 years old. Like, are you kidding me? Look how beautiful. Like, shut up. Next is a memoir from my friend Paris Hilton, and I just finished reading this and it is such a gag. She is so honest, she's so brave, and it's one of those books that just feels like a treasure. Like, it just is like, wow, she really bared her heart, she bared her soul, and I'm just so proud of her that she was able to come to a place of vulnerability to like share all of this. A lot of us have trauma from our past and we hold it in, but only I feel the strong can really let it out and be a voice. And next up, a story that really changed my life and my outlook on a lot of things. It's in Spanish, so please don't judge me. Digo mi puta mi santa. I can't with myself. So I came across this series on HBO Max called Veneno, and I think that means poison. I watched the whole thing like several times. It's all in Spanish. I just became like completely obsessed and like hyper fixated on it, but it's about this girl, her name is Cristina, and she was a very famous transgender woman in Madrid back in the day. She's escorting, and then she got like on reality TV. So the series near the end, she writes a book and she does like a whole like announcement of it or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, is that book real? So I Googled it, tracked one down. It's all in Spanish, so I haven't read it, but I watched the series, so I feel like I know a lot of her life. But this is really special to me. I feel like she was such a powerhouse, such an inspiration, way ahead of her time. And I love somebody that just lives authentically, no matter what their circumstances are. They're gonna feel what they wanna feel. They're gonna love who they wanna love. And unfortunately, she was taken advantage of. You have to get into this. It's so good. She really is such a legend. Love you, Christina. The Working Girls, Trixie and Katya, 2 of my favorite drag queens. This is a book that I got recently and I just finished reading. If you're looking for a fun educational read, I definitely suggest this one. I think that they're such a dynamic duo. They bounce off each other so well. I'm really honored to call them my friends because they work so hard and they deserve everything that they have. So I just wanted to give a shout out to my friends. Working Girls, yes you are. Obsessed. And last but not least, my new book, The Tea Guide. I co-wrote it with one of my best friends, Mick, and it's Our Trans Experiences, a celebration of gender expression, man, woman, non-binary, and beyond. I'm so excited to hold it in my hands. She's a hardcover. I'm so proud of this. Growing up as trans, I always struggled with my next step. What was I gonna do next? Who was I gonna talk to? I really only had 1 or 2 trans girlfriends, and their resources necessarily didn't work for me. So I was kind of stuck. So this book is something that we both felt was so needed in our community, in the world. People need, I mean, it's not only for trans people, this book. Like my dad writes in it, like the ally of life, my father, his parents write in it, Paris Hilton is in it, Adam Lambert. I just think it's such a great resource, and I would have literally died to have something like this growing up, because all of our secrets, all of our tips, all of our tricks, things I've never talked about are in this book. One of them being my silicone horror story that I've never talked about. Gottmik also shares some really, really personal stuff too, and I'm just so proud of this, and go get your copy of the Tea Guide. So I have a few favorite authors, but I would say if I had to choose the one that really affected my life the most, it would be Chuck Palahniuk, and that was because of the book Invisible Monsters. I literally read that book like 20 to 30 times when I was younger, and it really just is such an insanely tragic yet beautiful story. There's parts of it that are so dark, and there's parts of it that are so beautiful, and there are some transgender elements to it, and maybe that was my first, eye-opening experience to that. I don't remember, but it's a book that I will forever, forever love. I will definitely say 50 Shades of Grey. I listened to it on Audible, on an audiobook. I listened to all of them, and I was so obsessed. My favorite place to read a book definitely is somewhere quiet, alone. I love reading or listening to an audiobook in my office or when I do my makeup. That always lets me really focus, because sometimes, I don't know if you have this, anybody with fellow ADHD, sometimes I'll read a page and then I'll be like, what did I just read? Like I wasn't really reading, I was just going through the motions of it. So I'll have to go back to the top of the page and really focus. Definitely like a quiet Zen setting where I'm not distracted, because your girl will look off if there's a bird in the sky. I'm like, hey, how are you? Is that a bird? Anyways, thank you, Shelf Portrait, and thank you for hanging with me and talking all things books. I'm so excited that this is available. This is literally my baby. I'm like, I can't believe I'm holding it. I can't wait for you guys to get it. It's so beautiful. The photography in here is also so major. Be sure to subscribe to Marie Claire, and I will see you later. Bye, guys.